Sir Doc Jerry. So my topic for today is about short and long range planning po, strategical, operational, and tactical planning. So ito po mga to ay types of plan na ginagamit po ng mga managers natin. So what is a short range planning po? Short range planning is defined by the characteristics of an organization such as skills and attitude of employees. In the workplace po, managers devise strategies on how to improve these characteristics in the short term to meet the long-term goals po. So, short-range plans po generally apply to a specific time frame in which a specific series of operations will be carried out, assessed, and measured po. And also po, short-range planning po focuses on an immediate period, especially in reference to revenue and profitability in terms of the business side of the planning po. While long-range plans po are arguably the most crucial to the continued success of a business or in an organization. Ultimately po, highlighting the way in which operations interact to achieve long-term profitability and returns on investment po. So as corporations grow in size and complexity po, so do the long-range plans that constitute the interaction of individual processes po. So long-range plans po are those most closely related to the overall strategic planning process. And also, the goals set in long-term planning po are less likely to be changeable due to the consensus a management team needs when creating them initially po. Kanya po, ang layon na itinakda sa long-term plan po ay malamang na hindi na mabago dahil ito po ay napagkasunduan na noong nag-upisa pa lang po ang isang organisasyon. So what is the relationship between the short-range planning and long-range planning po? The relationship between the short and long-term planning is that the planning po is the most crucial part of a business in an organization or company po. So basically, short-term planning drives So basically po, short-term planning drives an organization to find sustainable solutions. And in certain cases po, the short-term planning will enable the organization company to handle drastic or unintended changes. However po, sustainable solutions taken from the short-term concerns will lead the organization to achieve long-term goals easily. In other words po, short-term goals are often stepping stones that contribute to achieving a long-term goal po. So what is the difference between the short-term planning and the long-term planning po? So ito po yun. By definition, By definition po, short-term planning is conducted for immediate or short-term concern and its outcome is expected in less than a year or less than 1 year's time po. So on the other hand, long-term planning po drives the organization or company in a strategic direction where the stability of the company and long-term goals are evaluated in the projected future po. So mas mahaba po, at least sustainable po siya, and this is usually the key difference po between short-term planning and long-term planning po. So generally po, sa short-term planning pa rin, the company focuses on the prevailing situation of the business, especially po in terms of internal issues. So kasama po dito ang lack of training, yung customer complaints po, drastic management changes, etc., etc. Thus, the workout a mitigation plan where they can see the actions within a limited time span. Kumbaga po, gumagawa tayo ng plano ng pampagaan kung saan makikita po natin ang mga aksyon sa loob ng isang limitadong panahon o araw po. However po, in long-term planning din, the company focuses on both external and internal issue that might have an impact on the business. These external issues may involve political situation prevailing in the country po, global economic changes, etc. Therefore po, we can consider this also as a major difference between short-term planning and long-term planning. So besides, short-term planning, short-term goals are very straightforward, whereas a long-term goals po are complex and much more tactical po. So then, how to use SMART goal po for a short-term planning? So pwede po pagpalang gamitin ang SMART formula na yan sa paggawa po ng short-term planning natin. So number one, siyempre po, understand this, the SMART framework. So actually, po, short-term planning is an operational piece that is crucial to the success of an organization. Usually po, lower-level employees can execute short-term projects assigned by their managers. So kapag naintindihan na po natin ang formula na to, yung SMART, specific na ano po ba yan, kailangan may identity po ang kailangan may identity ang objective natin para hindi po tayo malito in terms of what action is to be done po. Then measurable, dito po kailangan ay meron tayong specific number kung ilan ang kayang magawa. Pwede rin po masabing quota. Then yung achievable nga, meaning po they should not be the source of undue physical or emotional stress. Dapat po ma-possible po ito. Hello? Excuse me po. Okay po. Next po, relevant. In a sense that may contribution po siya sa development ng mga empleyado. Then time-bound po siya. Kailangan po may definite time frame po ang ating plano. So next po sa number 2 po, prioritize what your organization needs to accomplish. Once you understand how the SMART formula works, this will help po your organization to carry out your day-to-day operations po. So look and see what parts of your organization needs immediate assistance po. Some areas can include project management, company facilities, and team morale. Then number 3 po, consult with the management to see if short-term planning demand align with everyone po. So actually po, before you can create short-term business goals, it is better po to consult with your boss to see if they share the same demands and mindset about what type of short-term planning is needed po. So feedback is essential to planning, which is the best solution po for your organization po. Then po, how to create short-term business goals. So una po, number 1 po, remind your team of long-term business goals po. Ipaalala po kung ano ang layunin ng long-term goal agenda o polisiya po ng ating organisasyon. Then number 2 po, determine what your team needs to reach long-term targets po. So once you review your organization's long-term goals and understand your terms demands, determine what your team needs to be successful po. It could be access to new technology since nasa digital age na po tayo ngayon. Then more training and current technology in place or a larger staff to hit short-term targets po. Dito rin po yung kailangan magkaroon ng proper orientation ng mga kasamahan natin kung ano pong nararapat. Pwede rin po magkaroon ng workshop, mga seminar para po lumawak ang kaalaman ng mga empleyado po. So number 3, develop your team's skill to meet long-term goal. So dito po kailangan po natin ang Human Resource Department po. With the help of the Human Resource Department, we can create programs to train our staff on how to learn more knowledge about their job. Pwedeng magkaroon po ng workshop, mga seminar para po lumawak ang kaalaman ng mga empleyado po. So team building activities po ay importante din po 'yon. So kaya po halos lahat po natin sa mga agency natin sa ahensya ay may nagkakaroon na po ng team building to encourage po ang culture of growth po. So maganda po rin po yung pag-team building na yan. Tapos you and your Human Resource Department po should take an active approach ng communicating and enacting your plans to generate success. Then number 4 po, find out how to keep track on your team's development over time. So dito po sa number 4, pwede rin i-discuss with your team and Human Resources Department how to track the success of your short-term business goals. There should be full transparency in communicating how you're completing major projects tasked by management. Pwedeng malaman kung competent naman po ang mga empleyado po natin. So next po is major types of organizational planning. So there are 4 major types po. Una po yung strategic plan, tactical plan, operational plan, then contingency plan. Yung po contingency plan sa next presenter na po yun. So ang tatakal ko lang po dito is strategic and up to operational po. Okay? So What is a strategic plan po? Ito po yung strategic plan is the company's big picture po. It defines the company's goals for a set of period of time, whether that's 1 year or 10 years po, and ensures that the goals align with the company's mission, vision, and values po. So strategic planning usually involves top managers po, although some smaller companies choose to bring all of their employees along when defining their mission, vision, and values. Then second one po is the tactical plan. The tactical strategy po describes how a company will implement its strategic plan. A tactical plan po is composed of several short-term goals typically carried within 1 year po. So that supports the strategic plan. Generally, it's the responsibility of the middle managers to set and oversee tactical strategies po, like planning and executing a marketing campaign po. Then yung operational plans naman po encompasses the what needs to happen continually on a day-to-day basis in order to execute tactical plans po. Operational plans could include work schedules, policies, rules, and or regulations that set standards for employees, as well as specific task assignments that relate to goals within the tactical strategy, such as a protocol for documenting and addressing work absences. And then yung last po yung contingency plan. Contingency plan waits in the wings in case of a crisis or unforeseen event. So ito po yung mga scenarios na lagi pong dapat may plan B tayo, just in case na magkaroon ng hindi magandang scenario o kaya crisis sa isang organisasyon o kumpanya. So next po, actually po there are 5 processes, steps of organizational planning. So first step po is you should develop a strategic plan. Okay. The first step po include po how to review by reviewing your mission, your vision, and values po, gathering data about your company, like example po, performance indicating metrics from the department, then performing po SWOT analysis. Tapos po, setting up a bigger picture or goals that take your vision, values, data, and SWOT analysis into account. So after that kung ma-develop na yung strategy nyo, may strategy na po kayo, dun po tayo sa second step, which is to translate the strategic plan into tactical plan po. So at this point, it's time to create the tactical plan. So kailangan po dito ang mga middle managers to help and define short-term goals, develop reviewing goal achievement, and also po develop a contingency plan. So nasa second step po yun. And then, sa ano po, sa third step po, ito po yung plan daily operation. Plan daily operations or create operational plans po. So dito po ay kailangan ng operational plan. So all the processes that determine how individual employees spend their time and day, by which are largely responsible for middle managers and employees that report to them. This stage should include setting goals and targets that individual employees should hit during a set of period po. Then, the fourth step po, execute the plans. So, kailangan po ma-execute na natin. It's time to put these plans into action. So, kailangan na po ng action para sa mga plano na yan. Theoretically po, activities carried out on a day-to-day basis defined by the operational plan, which is step 3, should help reach the tactical goals, which in turn supports the overall strategic plan. Then the last step po is monitor the progress and adjusting of plans po. So this process po should have a period of reflection and adjustment. At the end of each quarter or the short-term goal period, middle managers should review whether or not they hit the benchmarks established in step 2. which is po yung tactical and strategic to tactical po. Okay? And then submit data back reports to the higher bosses po o sa ating mga manager. And then po, depending on the outcome of those reviews, your organization may wish to adjust parts of this strategic, tactical, or operational plans if your organization did not meet your quota or benchmark of success in your organization. So, ito po pag monitor na to, kung kailangan balikan po yung tactical, kung may problema, pwede natin balikan yung strategy natin, pwede natin balikan ang operation, kung anong kulang doon. So, ganun po yan. And then, to summarize po, the organizational planning process includes 5 phases po. Ito nga yung 5 na yan. That ideally po, it forms a cycle. And strategic, tactical, operational, contingency, kasama rin po yung short and long-term planning, fall within these 5 stages po. Kanya po kung maayos at maging successful po ang mga plano ng organisasyon, it will eventually lead to a more successful and logical long-term plan to a progressive organization and future po rin ng ating organisasyon. Yun lang po. Salamat. Okay po.
Taga sir, inano ko kung paano ko mako-construct ng maayos yung aking tanong. Ayun po. So you discussed po about different types nga po ba yun, sir, of planning? Or ano po ba yun?
Yes.
The reason why may arrow po siya is, yun po ba yung magiging process flow? Hindi ko lang din po na-gets ng konti yun. Pero ang akin pong tanong, sir, ay can you cite an instance where we can apply the tactical plan? Or kailan po ba ito na-apply sa isang organization?
Balik sa akin po, actually po, ang mga, itong, ano yun? Yung mga plano po na yan, especially yun sa types of organization planning po. Siyempre po, yung strategic plan na yan, sa umpisa para po yan, nandyan na. Kaya po nandyan sa strategic plan po, kasama po yung mission, vision, yung pang-organization. Kunyari po, yung sa civil service natin, di ba, may mission tayo, may vision tayo. Then yung may tactical, at sa tactical po, kung ano po yung mga tactics nyo, kung ano po yung pwede nyo gagawin dyan, yung magiging plano nyo, yun po yun. Nakuha nyo? Hindi.
So ang ano po natin ay doon po tayo mag-identify. Paano sir na?
Yes po.
Hindi ko po masundan.
Yes po, bali dito po. Okay. So first po sa strategic plan po, meron po tayong long range goals po. So ito po yung mga kunyari sa LTO po, may mission po kami, may vision then may objective po. Yun po ang long term goal natin para sa taong bayan. Then yung sa tactical plan po natin, identification of specific or short-range objectives po. So ano po magiging yung mga panandaliang tulong para po sa tao, imbes na wala kunyari hindi pa naabot ng ibang ang serbisyo natin, ibang taong serbisyo natin. So kailangan may plano pa rin po ang LTO para po yung maibsan natin yung paghihirap ng iba. Kunyari sa pagrerehistro, ganun po. Kung walang rehistro, kung kulang yung kailangan po ng rehistro ng malayo na walang LTO doon, pwede po silang mag-conduct ng mag-outreach po sila, mag-conduct silang mobile emission para po makapagparehistro ang mga lalayo. Ganun po yung tactic ng LTO. Then sa operational po, ganun din po yun. So kung ganun ang tactic nila, so sa operational, dapat kailangan nang gawin yan para sa madaliang panahon. Then, pag po may palpak pa, pwede pong uulit, kung may kulang man, so babalik po sa strategy nila kung ano pong kailangan sa kung anong tawag dito, kung yung sa operation po may kulang, may mali pa, parang ganon. So, pwede pong bumalik sa taktika or sa strategic. Kaya po parang ito po ay cycle din po itong organizational planning na to, yung strategy, kung paano ko mag-strategize, yung tactic mo po, then yung plan po. Ngayon, kung may contingency plan ka pa rin ba? So, kung bakit nagkaganon, babalik po kayo sa strategy kung kailangan mo pa mag-strategize po. Kaya sa tactic po kung kailangan mo kung ano pa po may problema. So, ganun po, umiikot din po talaga ang pagplanan ang ating agency po, organisasyon.
Noted, sir. Thank you po for clarification.
Thank you po.
Ma'am Joanne, Sir Dwight, pwede magdagdag
Sir, musta po?
tactical planning?
Opo.
Okay po. Thank you, sir. Ma'am Joanne, tinanong mo kanina kung anong ibig sabihin ng tactical plan. So, sa Bureau of Fire Protection po, pag sinabi po natin tactical planning po, ito po yung pagpaplano ng agad-agaran na bibigyan na din agad-agad ng decision, ma'am. Kagaya ng halimbawa, ang DepEd, yung isang eskwelahan natin, yung Marinduque National High School, for example, nabasag po yung mercury po nila doon sa kanilang science room. Kinakailangan na po natin ng tactical planning yun. Agad-agad po natin bibigyan po ng pagpaplano yun. At didesisyonan na rin natin kung ano po yung mga dapat na strategies na gagawin po natin doon sa nabasag na mercury po doon sa science room po ng Marinduque National High School. It means po, agad-agaran pong pagpaplano, pero agad-agaran rin pong didesisyonan po ng manager po yung tactical planning. Thank you po.
Noted. Yung parang yung po siya nag-a-apply. So thank you po for that example po. Thank you.